Hi, we're here at the Willow Vineyard with Joe and John Crampton, who are the owners of this beautiful spot. I also had a chance to taste their 2002 Chardonnay, and it was one of the most rich, full-bodied wines I've ever had, and I can't wait to take home a couple of cases. John and Joe, tell us a little bit about how your winery got started, and then talk about your wine some.
Well, what we did, Joe and I bought this property 21 years ago, and it was a pasture land with a farm silos below us here. So this was basically a dairy herd that pastured on this property. And we owned it for about 10 years before we decided that that's, in fact, what we wanted to do was plant a vineyard. So at that time, I decided, well, one of my best efforts would be to find out information about this would have been to go talk to some of these people that's been doing it for quite a while, and that was Larry Mobby. And so we made a decision what we wanted to plant after a couple of consultations with Larry, and then we decided how we wanted to lay out the vineyards, and basically planted the first Chardonnay vineyard in 1992, and then followed by Pinot Noir vineyard in 93, and in 95 the more Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and another Pinot Gris vineyard. So and that's basically how it started, and it took us about 4 years from planting to in a bottle. And I had actually went and bartered some time with Larry to make our wines there, and we opened up Labor Day of '98 with 96 and 97 vintage of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So then the rest is pretty much history. We baby steps all the while.
Well, not only is your wine a feast for the palate, your winery is a feast for the eyes. Joe, can you talk a little bit about it's pretty interesting in terms of flowers, but also in terms of some iron gates you have.
Yes, that's a local gentleman that did all our ironwork for us, and his name's Dan Nichols, and he's just an artist in himself. So we kind of designed the balconies and that. We like the European style, and Dan kind of did his own thing with the sign and things like that. So that's just a nice addition to the house.
Joe, one of the things you have going here is the view, and it reminds you a little bit of wineries in Europe.
We get that a lot from people. They come up with, I think, the ironwork, the balconies, and that have a European flair to it. So a lot of people go, oh, geez, this reminds me of being in Italy or someplace like that. And that's kind of what we were going for, so we like that.
Mm-hmm. And you do have a tremendous view, but you also have pretty steep slopes on which to grow those vines. Talk a little bit about your Pinot Noir, since I haven't had a chance to taste that one yet.
Well, the Pinot Noir we planted in '92, and we started out with a Wadenswil. I believe that is a Swiss clone. And we later added a Dijon 113 and a 115 small one. The thoughts on Pinot, of course, is it's a very delicate grape, very hard grape to vinify, and so the French felt that the more clones that you could perhaps have in the fermentation vat, that the more layers of character that you may be able to pick up, and I think that's very, very true. There's some wonderful Pinots being made in the area up here, and it's a grape that everybody appreciates and likes, but it's just a heartbreaker to turn into vinifying a wonderful wine. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
I can't wait to try that. And I must say that when one is visiting the wineries of Leelanau Peninsula, make sure you include Willow on your stop. It's on Hilltop Road, and Wednesdays through Saturdays or by appointment. Thank you very much, Joe and John, for talking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.